In the heart of South Richmond's business district, this KFC Taco Bell hybrid serves a steady stream
Appreciate it.
of hungry customers. You can dine in
Thank you.
or take out.
You like to try our 90 combo?
The only option not on the menu is delivery, usually.
It's anywhere between 2 to 3 times a week.
Brianni Jackson is a regular there.
The only thing that changes is whether or not she's going to get beef, chicken, or steak.
An in-home nurse, she often stops by to pick up lunch for a lady she takes care of. Such was the case back on April 30th.
My patient asked if I would go and run and get her something to eat. She wanted Taco Bell.
Right after she placed the order, Brianni was overcome by stomach cramps, so she ran to the restroom. A few minutes later, she came out, but then almost immediately.
It's like the pain hit me once again. I went back in the bathroom, and this time when I sat down, there was no standing back up.
That's when things got scary.
I looked down and I was like, that's when I realized I was still bleeding even more.
In a panic, she called her husband, who works at VCU Medical Center.
She's crying, she's breathing heavy. So immediately I'm like, babe, what's wrong? And she's like, how fast can you get to me? So I'm like, oh God.
Jamars Jackson put his phone on speaker and began racing out of the hospital when something stopped him dead in his tracks.
I'm running past the Panera Bread, and then I hear her just let out this gut-wrenching scream.
Then a terrifying moment of silence.
I'm still panicking. I'm like, babe, say something. And then she's like, oh my God. I'm like, what's wrong? What happened? She was like, I just had a baby. And I was like, you did what?
A complete shock because neither one had any idea that Brianni had been pregnant.
And I was like, okay, no, there's no way. I picked her up, I wrapped her in my shirt. She hadn't let out a cry or anything yet.
Then her motherly instinct kicked in.
That's when I realized that the umbilical cord was still wrapped around her throat. I unwrapped the umbilical cord. As I unwrapped the last one, she took a deep breath and he heard her holler for the first time.
Jamar, still on the phone, had just one question.
Boy or girl? I was like, it's a girl. Hang up and call 911. And next thing I know, I was hearing a dial tone.
Down the hall, the restaurant's employees had no clue that Brianni had just given birth.
So at no point did you hear screaming or anything like that?
No screaming, no nothing. And next thing I know, the ambulance and firemen are walking in the door.
Mother and child were rushed to the hospital, and when they arrived, a proud papa was waiting.
To see him as soon as they opened them back doors was definitely everything that I needed at that moment.
I'm still in shock. And I still but to be honest, it still couldn't have come at a better time.
That's because for the previous 10 months, the couple had been in mourning.
Now, Chesterfield police are investigating a fatal crash.
It's a lot of damage to the car, specifically where that child was seated.
An infant passenger in that Toyota, now identified as Jair Jackson, died at the scene. Crime Insider sources say he was just 9 months old.
It was a matter of a nightmare as well as this just can't be something that's real.
Last June, the Jacksons' infant son was killed in a crash near the intersection of Hull Street Road and Skin Quarter Lane. Brianni was behind the wheel when her car struck a pickup truck and camper that had pulled off onto the shoulder.
To know that I lost my son doing something that I do on a daily basis was the worst thing ever.
Police initially charged her with 2 misdemeanors. Ultimately, one was dismissed and she would receive a suspended sentence and a fine for driving with bad brakes.
It's been a battle. We have our good days, we have our bad days.
The couple says the loss of their son tested their faith.
Questioning God, why?
Faith that was restored.
Yes, look at the bubbles.
When little Ayana was born.
She's definitely a dream come true. To lose one and to truly gain another one is definitely the best gift that we could ever ask for.
A bundle of joy.
Lo and behold.
With an arrival that no one saw coming.
A miracle. Out of nowhere.
In a Taco Bell restaurant.
In a Taco Bell restaurant.